The whole point of inclusion, the whole point of bringing women and people of color into this arena is not to stereotype anybody anymore and allow them to express a voice in whatever form that is. And I think we need to really open our eyes to all of the different ways that the multitudes express themselves.
So I want you to take me back to when you guys decided to do it. What was your mission? What was your ethos? Why did you decide you needed to do it?
So I had just come to Barnard to create the Athena Center for Leadership Studies, and was looking for projects. Melissa invited me to a party at Gloria Steinem's house to meet Jane Campion, the filmmaker. And the two of us literally walked around the room, and all of these filmmakers were talking about how they couldn't get either their first or their second film made.
Or any movies.
Or any movies. And so we looked at each other and said, we got to do something about that. And Athena was born.
The whole goal of all of this is to prove that women are reliable, that there are an abundance of women out there. You just need to hire them, and you need to support them, and you need to put them in the theaters.
The festival has over 50 events. The movies are quite varied: features, docs, shorts, works in progress. They tell stories about women as leaders in a whole range of fields, from authors to astronauts to scientists to women making change in their communities, and both here in the United States and all over the world.
What drew you to the project I Am Woman?
I met Helen Reddy about 6 years ago at an award show. It was actually the G'day Australia Gala dinner in Los Angeles, full of Australians, which is always a good thing, But when I got to the table, I recognized her, and when I realized that it actually was Helen Reddy, I made my husband swap seats with me so I could sit next to her. By the time dessert came around, I really could see that she had an extraordinary story beyond just the stories about her music, that the rise and fall of her career was imbued with the kind of really hard decisions women had to make in those days. It really tied in so perfectly with the rise and fall of the women's movement at that time as well. So I knew it was an incredible story.
Miss Reddy, you sing very nicely, but male groups all the rage right now.
I am woman, hear me roar.
Her story is not just about her music, it's really about the rise and fall of her career and the choice she made as a woman.
I am strong.
What has been your battle to get here, to get your voice heard, and to be a female filmmaker?
I didn't realize that being a director was an option for me. And I was always the girl at school who was putting on plays and who was, writing stories. But I hadn't really seen a lot of people like me who had those jobs. The hurdle for a lot of women is managing family and those bigger steps you want to take in your career. And I don't think I'm the only one. I think that's the constant conversation I have with other female directors, is how do you manage that role of being really present for your child and being able to manage the things you want to do as a mother, and balancing with a career like being a film director, which is so incredibly time-consuming.
When it comes to labels, I feel like every time I'm interviewing a female director has to come up. Does that bother you, or is that something that just it is what it is?
No, I'm proud to be a female director. I wouldn't have it any other way. Look at me, I'm in a purple dress. It's the color of the women's movement.
Yes!
What's happening is that the rooms where people were pitching previously were basically all men. But if the room looks a little bit different and it looks a little bit more like you, and maybe someone, cracked a smile, or someone's shaking their head because they can relate to you in a different way than maybe people who used to be in that room, that changes everything. So really, it's about changing who's in the room, changing the people who can make the decision, changing the stories, and changing the storytellers.